Generation 8 and 9 have been notorious for their above average power creep. Like, matter of fact, I had so many candidates for this video, it almost turned into a top 15. I really want to know which drugs Game Freak was on when they came up with some of these, because they're kind of crazy. Anyways, the only criteria for this video is to be a Pokemon that was introduced in the 9th generation of Pokemon. Unfortunately, this means no Sneasler, as much as I'd like to put it at the top of the list. I hate that mon. Also, this video will be focused on VGC doubles, because I don't play a lot of Smogon, but I may mention signals if necessary. I gotta mention that this list was actually difficult to make, because I kept like switching things around and I wasn't sure about placements, but yeah, this is what I came up with. Okay, now on to the actual list. Coming in at a respectable 10th place is Ogerpon. Ogerpon is a weird Pokemon because while she's very strong, she feels like much more of a balanced legendary Pokemon, like compared to the rest of the list at least. This mon kind of gets to cheat because it's like really 4 Pokemon in one, which is I guess what makes it broken in the first place. Based on what mask you equip to Ogerpon, her type, ability, Terra type, and signature move will change. All 4 forms saw some form of usage, but the Wellspring and Hearthflame ones saw much more than the other two. These 2 forms get the abilities Water Absorb and Mold Breaker respectively. Mold Breaker is a good ability, but Water Absorb on a Pokemon with access to Follow Me made Ogerpon, Wellspring, the pawn of choice for most teams, seeing some real domination in Regulation E and F. It gets a special defense boost when it terastallizes and becomes half water type, and its signature move called Ivy Cudgel gets a boost and becomes water type as well. And it's like, dude, this Pokemon just has so many passives, like it's been 10 minutes talking about it. But while Wellspring Mask had much more usage overall, Hearthflame Mask was the one that ended up winning Worlds, and it was a format staple in Regulation G. It's Grass Fire type with a Fire type Ivy Cudgel, and it gets an attack boost when it terastallizes, as opposed to Wellspring Mask's special defense. This made it pretty decent on sub teams too, and I actually used my Ogerpon Hearthflame as a Calyrex Ice delete button back in Regulation G. Now at 9th place we have Chi-Yu. Winning the most recent World Championship has definitely helped its case, but Chi-Yu was no slouch beforehand. Its ability Beads of Ruin lowers the special defense of all Pokemon on the field by 25%, enabling a blow you up die kind of playstyle. It also gets access to Overheat, and yeah, I'm sure you can tell where this is going. Throw in a pair of choice specs, and Chi-Yu is running around throwing around actual supernovas. This is before even mentioning the fact that there's been a solid Sunsetter in every regulation to give Chi even more of a boost, and you got a real menace on your hands. Popping Overheats and Heat Waves in Sun off 145 special attack had even resist blowing up, which is insane. This mod had a ton of notable top 8s, including that ever elusive Worlds win just obtained a few weeks ago. Oh, and it's also got like over 200 bans and winnings. Chi-Yu's damage calculations were so off the rails it spawned like a running joke that was partially responsible for me getting interested in VGC in the first place. If that's not impact, I don't know what is. Coming up next is the Dragon Electric type Raging Bolt, securing 8th place. Bolt's success is due a lot in part to some other Pokemon we'll get to later, but it has a myriad of personal strengths too. Dragon Electric is already a great typing, but it's not the only factor contributing to Big Bolt's reign of terror. Thunderclap is a new signature move created when Game Freak asked the bold question, what if you made Sucker Punch Electric type? Oh, and not only that, let's make it special and give exclusivity to a mon with a demonic 137 base special attack stat. Raging Bolt does lack in coverage, but it's made up for within pure damage. Thunderclap, Thunderbolt, and the ever-present Draco Meteor has been more than enough to catapult it to the top of the meta. It's been a commanding presence in any format it's been legal in, amassing a ton of major wins in top 8s, including a trophy at NAIC 2024. Bolt is one of 2 mons on this list that doesn't actually have a win at Worlds, but I think taking it out of the top 10 would be understating the presence it's had in the meta. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How can you possibly put Iron Hands this low on the list? And hey man, I get it, but this list is really geared towards broken Pokemon, and to be real, Iron Hands is more honest than a lot of the Pokemon on the list. That doesn't mean it's not strong. Hell, it has 2 Worlds wins, and it's definitely still a broken mon, that's why it's on the list. Iron Hands has been a format staple in every format it's been legal in. Even without Miraidon to set electric terrain in Regulation D and E, it was still crushing the competition. Let's talk about its stats, which came directly from hell. 154 HP and 108 defense, with 140 attack means it gets to just sit on the field with crazy bulk and dish out serious damage. Add access to Drain Punch for longevity and Fake Out for support, and you've got a mon ready to make a name for itself. Hands just sits around and does a gajillion damage, but it can be exploited by some other meta threats. Oh, and it's also Trick Room Demon too, underspeeding or tying the other Trick Room threats across the lifespan of Gen 9 VGC. Our 6th spot goes to the Dragon Steel type, Archaludon. Archaludon, whatever. If you ask me, this Pokemon is straight up just legendary. 90 HP, 130 defense, and 125 special attack is already a crazy good stat spread, but it doesn't even end there. Archaludon gets the signature move Electro Shot, a 130 power 2-turn electric type move that gives a +1 to special attack on turn 1 and fires on turn 2. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Doesn't even have stab on it. Well, I left out one little detail. Electro Shot skips the charge turn in the rain, so you get to boost and fire a Railgun Bolt in the same turn, off 125 special attack, and we're not even done, because Archaludon gets the ability Stamina, which boosts its defense every time it's hit by any attack. Archaludon might not be a dominating presence in restricted formats, but it hasn't been out for long and it's already racked up a good amount of placements, including 3 regional wins. Seriously though, who decided to give this thing Stamina? It's genuinely unfair. Archaludon also doesn't have a Worlds win, but the way it's taken over Regulation 8 should be enough for it to be considered a real threat. Hey, quick intermission real quick. I always forget to write into my script the whole like and subscribe. So if you're liking the video, like and subscribe. That's it. Anyways, we're about to get into the real heavy hitters on this list. These top 5 Pokemon have proved time and time again that they have what it takes to be considered the best of the best, starting out with arguably the strongest ice type in VGC history. Chien-Pao is another treasure of ruin and the physical attacking counterpart to Chi-Yu. It's also a mobile KO machine, but in a different way. Ice Dark is an excellent offensive type combination, boosted by Game Freak finally designing an ice type the way it should be. A glass cannon powerhouse. Chien-Pao's defensive stats leave a lot to be desired, but that doesn't mean much when it's flaunting 120 attack on a devastating stab combo with 135 base speed. This makes it pretty much faster than anything else in the game, and it speed ties the mons that it can't straight up outrun. The real star of the show in Chien-Pao's arsenal is its signature ability, Sword of Ruin. Sword of Ruin lowers the defense stat of all Pokemon on the field, giving even more potency to Chien-Pao's Ice Spinners and Sucker Punches. It also gets access to Taunt, and with that speed stat, it gets to shut down tons of Pokemon before they can even get started. Not only is Chien-Pao itself a force to be reckoned with, Sword of Ruin enables a bunch of other Pokemon too. Stuff like Terra Normal Extreme Speed Dragonite and Zamazenta, whose body press damage isn't actually lowered by the effect of Sword of Ruin. It's got a myriad of results to back this all up, with 11 regional wins to go along with a dub at both internationals and worlds. For the record, I just want to say I always believed in Koraidon. Everyone called it a fraud, and I always had faith that it was going to win worlds. At some point. Look, I get Koraidon isn't even the strongest box legendary this generation, but I still think it's got quite a lot going for it. Orichalcum Pulse continues a recent Pokemon trend of giving Pokemon 2 abilities in one for whatever reason. Not only does Koraidon get to set the sun, it also gets a free attack boost when that sun's up. In literally any other generation, Koraidon would be considered a top threat, but external circumstances have prevented it from becoming the true force of nature it was destined to be. It's got 135 on both speed and attack, and alongside that 33% boost in the sun, you've got some real firepower on your hands. Sunsetters have always had a well-established presence in VGC, and Koraidon enables all the past Paradox Pokemon to get up some crazy boosting shenanigans in the formats that they've been allowed to operate in, and I think it deserves that spot on this list. Koraidon's got a handful of good placements, with 3 regionals won, an international, and that ever-elusive Worlds crown at the most recent World Championship. Quick break. Before we get to the top 3 mons, I have a few honorable mentions to get out of the way. These are Pokemon I heavily considered for the list, but decided against for some reason or another. My first honorable mention is Palafin. This thing has legendary Pokemon stats when it's in its hero form, and it deserved a top 5 spot on this list. Is what I would say if we were back in 2023. Palafin had its heyday, but it was ultimately outclassed in later formats, namely by a certain bear. Next up is Annihilate. Cranky Kong here has been quite the menace in its VGC career, with dominance in Regulation H to go along with its mouse ache in earlier formats. Rage Fist is genuinely a disgusting move, and Final Gambit turns into a bringer of doom. Unfortunately, the mere existence of a certain fairy has been more enough to keep this primate in its place when it comes to higher power formats. Okay, now we have Blood Moon Ursaluna. Blursa, I guess I'm gonna call it that. It's kinda just a walking nuke. Like, it's throwing off stab hyper voices off 135 special attack and gets a broken 140 power signature move, and it gets to hit ghost types, and yeah, this thing is broken for sure. The problem is it doesn't really have the results to back it up, and it kinda gets even outclassed by base Ursaluna, especially in restricted formats. Maybe in due time it would end up on this list, but for now I'm going to leave it in the honorable mentions. The last honorable mention we have today is King Gambit. Gambit has been more of a ladder demon in singles OU, but I thought I'd mention it because Supreme Overlord is hilarious. I don't know why Game Freak gave King Gambit access to the power of friendship, but yeah, sure bro, I guess.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
This mon is absolutely unbelievable. Coming in at a number 3 spot is the affront to nature itself, Gholdengo. Don't get me wrong, I think Gholdengo is a really cool mon and I do like it, but wow man. The 1000th Pokemon was always going to be something special and I think Game Freak definitely delivered. I mean, just look at these results. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with its base stats. What Gholdengo lacks in speed, it makes up for in pure power. 133 special attack would already be enough to be great, but pair that with one of the best typings in the game, a strong signature move, and a broken ability. Now you got a genuine monster on your hands. Make It Rain is a 120 power, 100 accuracy steel type spread move with the only drawback of dropping special attack by 1 stage. Pretty much any mom would love to have this in their kit, but that's not where it ends for Gholdengo. Good as gold, it makes Gholdengo immune to all status moves. Like all of them. Taunt it so it can't set up? Nope. Parting shot to drop its special attack? Nope. Sleep it with Spore? Hell no. And on top of all of this, being a ghost type makes it immune to being faked out and gives it immunity to fighting type, erasing that weakness. This world's winning Pokemon has been a menace in every non-restricted format, and no doubt we can expect its reign of terror to continue in Regulation H Part 2. Our silver medal goes to a Pokemon I'm sure you all saw coming. I don't think I need to say much about Flutter, but I will, because that's the point of this video. Ghost Fairy is a truly disgusting type combination, man. Immune to 3 of the most common types in VGC, including that sought after fake out immunity, and we haven't even gotten to the base stats yet. Flutter is the most min-maxed Pokemon I've ever had the displeasure of laying my eyes on. I just talked about how Gholdengo gets held back a bit by its middling speed stat, but main does not have to deal with that problem. 135 in both special attack and speed is enough to make this thing a monster, and well, yeah, it is. I talked about walking nuclear warheads before, but this is the real danger, because a single Flutter Moonblast will send you into a different plane of existence. Throw in some speed control like T-Wave or Icy Wind, and main really gets to be unstoppable. We haven't even gotten to its ability yet. Photosynthesis boosts Flutter highest stat in the sun, allowing it to reach staggering levels of speed or special attack depending on how it's trained. In its career, Flutter has remained a genuine top threat in every format it could possibly be included in. It has over 200 top 8 placements, with 32 regionals under its belt to go along with 4 international trophies and 2 Worlds wins, and almost 800 grand in winnings. What the hell, man? If I had a nickel for every Dragon Electric Pokemon on this list, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, huh? In a move shocking literally nobody, my pick for the top slot on this list is Miraidon. Miraidon is what we in the business like to call a multiplier monster. Just by existing, Miraidon can increase its damage output to bewildering heights. Let's run through all the factors here. Firstly, a 135 special attacking stat is already enough to put in some serious work. Then we have its signature ability. Hadron Engine sets up electric terrain, then boosts Miraidon's special attack by 33% in that electric terrain. Then the terrain further boosts all electric moves by 30%, including Electro Drift, Miraidon's Stab 100 power signature move. So we got 100 power off 135 special attack, 50% boost from Stab, 33% from Hadron Engine, 30% from terrain, 50% from specs. Maybe I'll throw that out there. Or maybe it's like 100% stab boost because you can tear electric. I'm not calculating all that, bro. The point is, Miraidon does hella damage in electric terrain. Enough damage for it to just click Volt Switch and OHKO something on the way out. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that electric terrain enables other really strong mons like Iron Hand and Raging Bolt. or the fact that its defenses aren't bad at all and they were good enough for an Assault Vest set to gain popularity, or the fact that it gets Dazzling Gleam for whatever reason. In just 3 formats of legality, Miraidon has racked up 6 international wins and an international dub, and that big Worlds trophy. It can't be understated how much impact Miraidon has had on the meta of Gen 9 VGC. I was literally building my entire teams around defeating this thing. And that's all for this list. Agree with me? Disagree? Yell at me in the comments, because I do read all of them. I had quite a lot of fun doing this video, so I hope you all enjoyed it, and thanks for sticking around to the end. Also, sorry for disappointing on y'all. I had a lot going on, but I think we're back for good this time. I know this is different from my other usual content, last 2 videos I made, but I've been really into competitive Pokemon in the last couple of years, and I wanted to make a video about it. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this going forward. Thanks again to Charm for the wonderful thumbnail, and I'll see you all in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like the video, just drop a sub, I really appreciate it, and I'm trying to make more videos in the future very soon. Anyways, have yourselves a damn good one.